York Knicks still have one open roster spot on the team. They can use that to sign a player to a veteran minimum contract, and the rumors surrounding which players could get that deal are heating up. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. Over the last couple of weeks, the three names that we have heard most linked to the New York Knicks are Malcolm Brogdon, Ben Simmons, and Russell Westbrook. For a while there, it felt like the New York Knicks were kind of just holding out hope that Marcus Smart would be bought out by the Washington Wizards. And he was. But then he ended up signing a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. So he is off the board. Chris Paul has also recently signed with the Los Angeles Clippers. We'll talk about him and some reports that came out around him and the Knicks, but doesn't matter now as he is a free agent, which brings us back to these three players, as I am sure there are other players that are being mentioned as well. Jake Fischer, who covers the NBA, said the two teams that we can report on that have ongoing interest in Ben Simmons are the Sacramento Kings and the New York Knicks. That's the last word we got as we are leaving Las Vegas. He reported that once Summer League closed. Also, Mark Stein reporting that there are 4 teams interested in Ben Simmons. Mentioned the New York Knicks, the Boston Celtics, the Sacramento Kings, and the Phoenix Suns. He said the Suns are now looking for a veteran ball handler on their roster, and Simmons is one of the best available still as a free agent up to this point. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 1,000 times on this show. I'm 100% cool with Ben Simmons on the Knicks, on the vet men. Salary, it kind of changes expectations. Now, if Ben Simmons was coming here for $10 million, wouldn't really be all that interested. If Ben Simmons wanted to be a Knick for $30 million, no. But for $2.5 million and an opportunity to rehab your value as well as help this team in areas I actually do think that Simmons could help, I'll sign up for it. Like, is he the player that we all thought he was going to be coming out of college and LSU being the number 1 overall pick? No. But there are still things that Ben Simmons does and can do that would help this team. Like last year with the Nets, scored a little bit more, averaging more than 6 points per game. With the Clippers, not so much. The playing time also dipped a little bit, but there are still things that he does well. And he would bring another ball handler and another playmaker and another person the New York Knicks could use to allow Jalen Brunson to play off ball. We saw in that series against the Indiana Pacers, the full court press defense and the on-ball pressure was just a little bit too much for the Knicks at times. And I'll even say, like, I don't even really, and I hope Ben Simmons, if he's signed, isn't playing in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, because that probably means something bad was happening. But he does give you some nice things, like versatile defender. He can guard 1 through 5. There's videos last year where he's guarding some of the best centers in the NBA. It can allow you to play small and fast. Gives you more lineup versatility as well. He can play that small ball 5. He could play next to Jalen Brunson. He could play with Cat at the 5, him at the 4, McHale and OG at the 3 and 2, and Brunson at the 1. And it gives you some athleticism, so much needed athleticism, in my opinion. The Knicks don't have many guys that are considered great athletes. And while Simmons is not the athlete he once was coming out of Baton Rouge due to those injuries he sustained, he could still get up and down the floor. He's got the athleticism to guard 1 through 5. He could pass the rock. He could finish plays around the rim, mainly above the rim. But I think it would help. And maybe it happens. Maybe it doesn't. I do know this, though. If the Knicks make a move, we are going to make a video on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed and turn those notifications on so you never miss a thing. Steve Popper of Newsday saying this. So you had the nationwide NBA reporters saying the Knicks are still in on Ben Simmons. Well, Popper, the local guy, says the names are intriguing. The Knicks could use a solid backup point guard, and they could choose among Malcolm Brogdon, Russell Westbrook, and Ben Simmons. Those last 3 may be fantasy basketball, talking about Paul, Westbrook, and Simmons. Paul, looking to be close to his family in California, called that one, saying Westbrook needing more of a role than he'd get in New York, and leak sources indicating that Simmons is a long shot for the Knicks. So Popper brought up 4 names, and he shot them all down, except for Malcolm Brogdon. He was the only name that he didn't say there really was a rhyme or reason why it would not happen. And we have now been on this Malcolm Brogdon watch going on 3 years. for the New York Knicks. And I'd be cool with the chase and the hunt coming to an end with him actually putting on a New York Knicks jersey. Didn't play all that well this past year for Washington, and didn't play all that much either. 24 games. That's the problem with Brogdon. 24 games, 39 games, 36 games. Often hurt. When he plays, he can be effective. Was a sixth man of the year last year in Boston in 2022, 2023. 2 years ago in 2023, 2024 with Portland, still averaging almost 16 points per game, north of 5 assists, shooting great from the field at 44% and 41.2% from three. Now, I don't know if it was the injuries that caused him to not be able to shoot the ball well last year in Washington, or you're just on the Wizards and you got to get that Wizard stank up off you. One thing I do think he could help with is the Knicks above the break three-point shooting. We know the Knicks struggled to shoot the ball well above the arc in that spot, mainly Mikal Bridges. Karl Anthony Towns was the one that was carrying the Knicks in that department. Brogdon's one of the best in the business in that league, in the league in that spot. In 2022, 2023, he shot 44.9% when it came to three-pointers from atop of the key. Then he shot it again at 40.5%. And this past year, he only hoisted 50 of them in a limited action and didn't shoot them all that well. But I'm going to take these two sample sizes over that one to make me feel more confident that he could still get it done. Question is, can he still get it done? I don't know. But I do like the idea of Brogdon off the bench for the Knicks. Like we talked about with Simmons, price changes expectations. When you're coming in for the vet min, I don't have really any expectations for you. But there is a world where I do think that Brogdon can affect winning for the New York Knicks. Like Simmons, he gets you another ball handler. And that is something I've been looking for the New York Knicks to acquire all offseason. They did it a little bit with Jordan Clarkson, but Brogdon is much more of a true point guard than Clarkson, even though he's not fully an on-ball point guard, even though I was making this video, 2022 or 2023 in the playoffs, I actually still have the tab pulled up right here. Malcolm Brogdon, in the 2020 playoffs, he averaged 10 assists per game with the Indiana Pacers. I did not remember that. More scoring off the bench, though. That's an area that Knicks have struggled. They've always struggled since Brunson has got here to be able to score the basketball when he's off the floor. Also, proven playoff shooter. The Knicks were, I don't remember off the top of my head, I think 10th out of 16 teams when it came to three-point percentage in the playoffs. Well, Brogdon's a career 37.8% three-point shooter in the playoffs, and he gives you more lineup versatility. He can play alongside Jalen Brunson. He can run the point guard. If you wanted to go just scoring out of the backcourt and F it on defense, you can go Brogdon and Clarkson. Gives you another vet, someone that can handle the ball, create for themselves, create for others. And if there's 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter of a big-time game in a playoff moment, Brogdon's open from the top of the key, I'm cool with that shot, and I think he'll make it more times than not. I'll ask you the question, though. You're only going to get one of these players to be a Knick, and maybe it's neither. But if it was one of these guys, who would you want to be on the team? Simmons or Brogdon? Sound off for me. When you look at this Knicks roster, I would like to get both those players, but it's probably not going to happen, and it won't happen. But I do think Brogdon makes a little bit more sense. And it allows kind of a pathway of what I want to happen, which is Miles McBride likely to start. Because if you have Brogdon, McBride, and Clarkson off the bench, that's just a surplus of guards, especially with Josh Hart. That's four guys under 6'5" coming off the bench. I would like to start McBride, slide Towns to the 5, OG to the 4, Mikal to the 3. You're a little bit small there, but you play a more modern brand of basketball, and everyone on the 4 can shoot. And it allows you to not force start Mitchell Robinson and run him into the ground before the playoffs when it actually matters. I do like how this team can wear multiple suits if they have to get the job done. But we're going to see a little bit more about what this team's looking like as we come closer to training camp and that final roster spot does get filled. Make sure you are hooked up with our deal of the day. This shirt, the Sorry I Was Hoopin' New York Knicks shirt, it was $60. Now it's $30. So save yourself 50%. The deal will probably be gone by the end of the week, so get it now and lock yourself in by just going to this link, chatsports.com/NYKHoop. That's chatsports.com/NYKHoop. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter, @MarshallGreen_, and same handle on my IG.